Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone who rule well, as well as double honor to their elders. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 pushing this word with all truth and sincerity, as well as peace and blessings to all the believers of Yahweh Shai. Just wanted to do a quick hit lesson going into this article here from End Time Headlines, so Lord willing is edifying and to the point. It says, this is from April 29th, 2025. It says, first patient with ALS to receive Neuralink brain transplant has demonstrated ability to communicate with mind. So just more miracles on the left-hand side, that Esau is coming with, the so-called white man, to deceive the people. So let's read a little bit from this article here, and I'll put it in the description box, Lord willing. It says Elon Musk's brain computer interface company Neuralink is making headlines again, this time for a potentially life-changing breakthrough for individuals living with debilitating conditions like ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. It says, according to the Newsweek, tech billionaire revealed that the company's first human trial participant, who had a Neuralink chip implanted earlier this year, has successfully used the device to control a computer with his mind. It says the patient, identified as 29-year-old Nolan, I can't pronounce his last name, Arbaugh, was left paralyzed from the shoulders down after a diving accident. Now let's just read a little bit more. It says in a live stream demonstration posted on Musk X platform, Arbaugh described the experience as life-changing and credited Neuralink with restoring a level of independence that once seemed impossible. You see, that's how they're going to deceive the people. You see, you're going to have independence once again. You're going to be able to walk, talk, have control of your mind, be superhuman. Elon Musk was saying that at a time point. You'll be superhuman with with this Neuralink in your brain. It's continuing on. It says the surgery was super easy. He said, "I literally was released from the hospital a day later. I have no cognitive impairments, and ain't no telling. Once they got to crack open your skull. I was watching a quick video. It's from a different patient, but basically hitting on the same thing. Elon Musk, this Neuralink. Let's play a little bit of it.
So how does Neuralink work?
This guy here, I'm gonna come back to this point. Remember it, but this guy here is as well as a Neuralink, user. He's the third one. But let's play this a little bit.
Hi, I am Brad Smith. I'm the third person in the world to receive the Neuralink brain implant. I'm also the first person with ALS and the first nonverbal, which means that I rely on it for all communication. I am making this video using the brain-computer interface to control the mouse on my MacBook Pro. This is the first video edited with the Neuralink, and maybe the first edited with a BCI.
You see, I'm really thinking that this article is supposed to be hitting on this guy because this is a video from 2 days ago, but it's whatever. Now let's go skip ahead to how they showing, how does it all work.
So how does Neuralink work? The implant is in my motor cortex, which is the part of my brain that controls body movement. The actual implant is the size of 5 US quarters in a stack. It replaced the hole in my skull. The threads are placed by a robot just a few millimeters into my brain, avoiding the blood vessels so there is almost no bleeding. It connects to the computer via Bluetooth, and the computer does a lot of processing. This is a feed from the 1024 electrodes in my brain.
And that's the point I want to get to. 1,024 electrodes robotically placed after they didn't cut open your skull. And back to this article said the surgery was super easy. That's some bullshit. Ain't no telling if this guy is or any of these people with these the chip in their brain. This guy could be just a damn tomato, and they controlling his thoughts and whatever he's saying. Ain't no telling this damn devil. Got people in the comments, just fawning over it. This is simply the most stunning video I've ever seen. I can't get over how awed I am. How amazing. Thank God for the genius of Elon Musk. Hey, the genius of Elon, the Heavenly Father gave them this technology to do these things. And but we know the God that they're talking about. They're thinking about a so-called white man. But let's going back to this article here. I'm not gonna read too much more. It says how it's saying the surgery was super easy. Just just more deceptiveness to deceive the people into getting this, and be okay with it. As you see in these comments, people are happy about it. They probably gonna, if they got any family or them themselves, they gonna want one. You know what? I'm not gonna read nothing else from this. I'll just put it in the description box. Let's get these scriptures here and close out the lesson. So Revelation 13, we'll start at verse 15. It says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast," and that he is speaking about NATO and the EU. They make up the beast, and America is a part of NATO. And at the top, you got those elite banking families. They're pulling the strings. It says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast." And what's the image? The image comes from the ancient Western Roman Empire. Their way of government. Basically, America is a photocopy of the Western Roman Empire. Everything they did back then is being done today, but on a larger scale. You know, they had a Senate House back then, one to rule over the people back then. The same thing we see today, as well as everyday life. That it was things that were going on in Rome is happening today. The moles and bowls. Just uncontrolled lust. Sexual lust. All that's being all that's being done here in America, as well as the bread and circus. They had the coliseums back then. You got your modern day coliseums today. Boxing arenas, wrestling arenas, sports arenas. So that's the image of the beast, the Western Roman Empire. Photocopy of it today through America. It says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed." And the image is speaking through the policies that America push. What's another policy that America is going to push? Right? You're going to have to take this chip, or else you're going to be killed, literally, as well as xed out from society. Going to that word killed here, G615 apoktaino, under outline of biblical usage, it says to kill in any way, whatever. And going to the root word of it, G575 apo, it's going into a separation, being cut off from society. If you don't got this chip, because you're gonna need this, you're gonna need that chip to participate in all parts of Esau's society. So continuing on, Revelation 13 and 16, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." And we're hitting on the forehead right now, Elon Musk and his Neuralink. Like over there in Sweden, they're big with the chip in the hand. Wallet more. That's the company over there pushing that. But everybody, it's about small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. No matter what your status is in society, you're gonna have that chip within you to continue participating in this man's world. You know, but Lord willing, we be that number. We're gonna be kept in our temptation, and we're not gonna take that mark. So continuing on, verse 17, "And that no man might buy or sell," and this is how he's gonna cause all. You're not gonna be able to buy or sell unless you have that mark. It says, "Save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Yeah. Buying and selling, as well as as I mentioned before, participating in this man's society. You're not gonna be able to go to the hospital and get your wounds patched up or anything. If you're feeling sick or nothing, you're not gonna be able to go to this man for help unless you got that chip within you. Because that chip, it holds all your information in. Let's go into that word mark back in Revelation 13 and 16. G5480, the word for mark is charagma, and then under all line of biblical usage it says thing carved, sculpture, or graven work. So this is like that's a physical thing, not a spiritual thing, as different Israelite groups are pushing, saying that the mark is sin. IUIC saying that sin is the mark of the beast, but that is simply not so. It's a physical thing. Going to the root word from Karax, so Karagma. The root word from Karagma is Karax, G5482, Karax. Underline, under outline of biblical usage, it says a pill or stake, a palisade. Now, if you look at a stake and a syringe side by side, because this is what that's going into, they resemble each other. That delivery instrument, that chip is going to be used. I mean, the syringe is going to be the delivery instrument that's used to put the chip within people. Then going here from the root word from Karax is G1125, grapho, which under outline of biblical usage, straight to the point, definition 2.4 says to write to one, i.e., by writing, to give information, directions. See, this chip is going to hold all your information, your directions. Because I mentioned, you're not going to be able to go to the hospital without it, because they're going to be like, hey, we need to scan this guy's chip to get all his blood type. Let's see what's wrong with, or scan the chip to see his blood type so we can know what to give to him, what not to give to him. Probably hold your what you're allergic to, all that stuff. Including all the things that's held in your wallet, as well as your biometrics. Bio meaning life and metric meaning the measurement. So like your palm scan, your iris scan, fingerprints, things of that nature. All of that can be contained within the chip. So let's read from 16 again. We'll go down. Revelation 13:16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And we're near to the fulfillment of this. We're just waiting for Esau, the so-called white man. He's waiting for chaos to ensue. And we're seeing the build up of that too. There's supposed to be another protest happening tomorrow. They want order out of chaos. And once that chaos ensues, they're gonna come in with the solution. They're gonna come in with that order, which is the NWO, which is centered around having everybody on the planet chipped. Because this is gonna be a global thing, as it mentions in Revelation 3:10. So let's read this again. And Revelation 13:17, that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And having the name of the beast is simply having that mark within you. You know, now you have the name of the so-called white man upon you. You have made Esau Edom your God instead of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Having that spiritual mark, which is the Tawa, exemption from judgment. The Lord willing, we have that Tawa upon us. Uh, let's continue on here. It says, are the number of his name, verse 18, about to hit into that. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, threescore and six. 666, three score, a score is 20, so 3 times 20 is 60, 600, 60, and 6, 666, and this, going into the universal product code, that barcode you see on the back of all your goods. You go into the store, that's going to be contained within the chip as well. So let's get a couple more scriptures. We'll end it out. Let's go to Revelation 3:10, and then we'll get the judgment, and that'll be it. Revelation 3:10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, and this is red letter Yahweh Shai speaking, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, and patience goes to suffering. We're suffering for the namesake of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and pushing this word no matter what. We understand that persecution is coming too, but that's not going to stop us, from doing the works of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, So because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also keep thee from the hour of temptation. The elect is going to be taken care of, says it's going to keep us, to guard us, to attend to carefully. That's what that goes into if you go into this word keep here. It says, which shall come upon all the world, a global thing, everybody across the whole globe. This man wants everybody chipped. It says, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. You go to that word world, it's Orchimini, the whole inhabited earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Hold unto this truth, Cleave unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Nothing should be able to separate us from the love of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai if we build that number, because nothing's going to separate the elect from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It says, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. And we want to Yahweh Shai to crown us, man, and say, well done, thou good and faithful servant, So this is what we're fighting for. So let's get the judgment for taking the MOTB. Which don't take the don't take the mark, man, because ain't nothing for you after that, but judgment, doom, as it says here, doom for worshippers of the beast. Revelation 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, into his righteous anger. Wait, we don't want to feel the righteous anger poured out without mixture, man. It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And that fire and brimstone is going to be coming from the chariots, Yahushai, and the angels shooting laser beams upon this place, as well as 200 million nuclear warheads, falling upon America, turn this place into a lake of fire. Continuing on, it says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, a long period of time, because the smoke is going to eventually clear. We're going to come down with Yahweh Shai and establish the kingdom of heaven. Lord willing, we bear that number. So, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast and his image. Yeah, because as the scripture say in the Apocrypha, you're going to dwell in torment. If you dwell in somewhere, you live in there. So, yeah, you're going to be for a long period of time, within that fire. It says, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. I'm gonna end it there. So Lord willing, the point was made. Don't be deceived by Esau Edom, and his left hand miracles. You know. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai by Shem Rachakwadash, double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone rule well, as well as double honor to their elders. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 preaching his word with all truth and sincerity. Shalom.